Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for The Northman, Spoiler Edition. So once again, this is your spoiler alert. If you want to see a spoiler-free version of this review, I'll link it in the description down below. Alrighty, so, as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. To start off with the furry, there is some dogs in this, and then there's some people acting like the cringiest version imaginable that you could think of what a furry would act like. You know what I'm saying? Alrighty. Moving on to the good and the bad. The good is that it has Alexander Skarsgård in it, and he doesn't have a shirt on sometimes. And that's it. That is it. There is nothing else good about this movie. So, it's total shit. Thumbs down. I said that in the non-spoiler review. You're still here, so I imagine you want to know, why do you feel that way? Well, let me explain it to you. To start off with, the sound. So I saw this in the theater, and I kept on thinking, man, I've seen movies in this theater before, and none of them were as obnoxiously loud as this one. Well, I mean, maybe some of them were, but not in recent memory. And you know what I figured out why that was? Is because the sound effects and the music were so fucking loud that you had to have it that loud in order to hear the talking that was going on, and it's so hard to hear the blah, 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 blah. Like, if they didn't have this, if they had the sound just a little bit lower, you wouldn't have been able to hear the people. So that's number one. I mean, that's not even number one, it's just, this is not even any sort of order. This movie is just shitty. So, the music was terrible, and it didn't make any sense. It was like, what am I supposed to be feeling with this right now? Because whatever you want me to be feeling, I don't think I'm feeling that with the music that you have going on. And then they were like, hey, we saw Dune, and they had the throat singing dudes for the Sardaukar. Let's have that, but shittier in a way that doesn't make any sense. And then we're going to have the dialogue and just all the writing. So the dialogue is like, hey, we're going to talk mostly normally, but then we're going to throw in a few, get that woman from me for that. I guess they don't have thous, but get the woman from me and get, why are far out there? It's like they just sparsed in a couple of Shakespeare-y bits, but for the most part, we're talking normal. So every time they threw it in, it's like, first of all, it's jarring, takes me out of the action. It makes me wonder why you weren't talking like that the whole rest of the time. And then it also is like, hey, was this just different takes? Did you film two versions of the movie and we're like, let's take the Shakespeare-ish, that kind of talk for this take, and then just the normal talk for this take. Why? And then you had the fact that, they had sort of a bit of accent thing going on with people, but then they still had the whatever Norse language, I don't know, the ancient Norse language, or current Norse for all I know, language with subtitles. And it's like, so then why are you speaking all funky if you're just going to have the ancient tongue going on with the subtitles? Just have them speak normally, and then when you want to do the ancient tongue thing, have that full on with the weird translations, whatever. That's fine. But when you do this, you got three things going on, it doesn't make any sense. And the dude who gives him the sword? What? You notice how I just kind of went from talking about this to talking about a sword? That's basically what happened in the movie. It's like, hey, I'm gonna drown this dude. That's my destiny, is I'm gonna drown this dude. I've known this since I was a wee lad, that I'm gonna drown this dude. But now that I've, for some reason, come to fucking Iceland, I have gotten a magic sword from a guy that was in the back of a place for reasons. I have a magic sword now. And if you weren't paying attention for all of 10 seconds, you would have missed the part where it's like, hey, you can only take it out during nighttime. Sure, why not? Have your Excalibur knockoff only work at night. That's fine, whatever. Who is that guy? Why was he there? It wasn't Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke was the dad. I don't think it wasn't Willem Dafoe, who I fucking forgot was in this movie in the other review. So Willem Dafoe is in this for all of 10 seconds, about as long as Ethan Hawke is, and he's not the guy who gives him the magic sword, though. He was the other magic guy in a cave from earlier who told him that his destiny was to drown the guy. What? Why are you wasting Willem Dafoe like that? And I gotta say that, like, Ethan Hawke, with what he was given, like, you know, good for him. He did what he could with the role, but he was also in there for all of 10 seconds. And then Nicole Kidman, who plays Alexander Skarsgård's mother, had, like, no age makeup. I don't actually know how old Nicole Kidman is. I don't know how old Alexander Skarsgård is. Pretty sure she's not that much older than him. Regardless, why are you having to make out with his mom? Like, why? That just comes out of nowhere. He's like, I'm gonna avenge my father by killing this guy. Now that I know where he is, now that I'm in the fucking village, I'm gonna wait. For no fucking reason. But then I notice my mother, and I'm gonna save my mother. But then when I go and save her, turns out she's a nasty bitch. She's evil. She's just a horrible fucking person. Which means I somehow want to make out with her for a little while. And then realize, wait, nope, that's not what I want to do. What are you talking about? What are you doing? In no way where you're like, hey, you just shit on everything that I've ever believed in. Sure, let's make out for a bit. Mom? No! 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 And, like, that was probably the only mildly surprising thing in this whole movie, is that, like, oh, turns out his mother was the bad guy. And I wouldn't even really call it that surprising. I think it was just surprising that they had something that wasn't hugely predictable or supremely stupid, which what followed after her reveal was stupid, but the fact that she was like, oh, it turns out I'm the evil one, I was like, oh, okay. But, like, why? You've known for years that your destiny is to avenge your family. I don't know what the fuck you've been doing all this time, but sure, now you finally know where he is, because I guess you lost track of where you grew up. Sure, traumatic, sure, fine. Let's go with you. Just forgot where you were, kind of like in Batman v Superman, you know, the dude forgot who actually kicked his ass with, like, the Green Lantern and all that shit. Sure, we'll go with that. Now you finally know where he is. You pretend to be a slave. Nobody's buying it. You get there, and you're like, there he is. Nope. Definitely gonna wait, and wait some more, and then wait some more, and then I'm just gonna be like, here I am! Come attack me with 3 of you so that I get my butt kicked. Like, why? You waited all this time, and then you get your ass kicked anyway. Like, he sleeps without guards, and even if he did have guards, you kicked multiple guards' ass at once. You could go in and slit his fucking throat any night of the week, and you don't, because you're a bitch. So, why would you not do that? And also, if you know you're going to drown him into a lake of fire or whatever, why'd you got the sword? Why were you given the sword if your goal and your destiny is to drown him in a lake of fire? And then, like, I get that the family tree thing that they kept on showing is supposed to be a family tree. Why everybody got to look like they're hanging? Like, it looks like they're all like hanging dead. That's not a great looking family tree, bro. And then he magically, like, he touches Anna Taylor-Joy's neck with his lips on where she got a tiny little nick, and he's like, suddenly I know you're gonna be the mother of my children. And she's like, bro, I knew I was gonna be the mother of your children forever. I was just waiting for you to realize it. I'm so glad we're vibing like this. And then he's like, peace, bitch, gotta go kill the guy. And she's like, oh no! All right, let's go really fast away from him. Okay, sure. And then, so he stabs his mother through the heart, which fucking finally, right? And then, you know, the kid is all like stabbing him in the back. He's the most effective one on this whole fucking island. Everyone else who's been trying to kick his ass doesn't do anything lethal. And then this kid with this fucking knife is just like, ah! Just knifing the shit out of him. Good for that kid. Of course he gets killed, which, of course he would. But they have to show it because otherwise Alexander Skarsgård's character would be the bad guy if he otherwise just killed a kid who wasn't trying to attack him. Like, sure, okay, fine. But then the dad comes, and he's like, I'll meet you at the gates of hell. Let me just take my dead boy's body and my dead wife. Let me just drag them away ever so slowly while glaring at you. You're glaring at me. Like, just kill him right then. Either you, who is perfectly functional, should kill him, or you, who is a much fitter person and hasn't lost the adrenaline and lost a lot of blood from the knife wounds, should just kill him right then. Why are you waiting? Okay, gates of hell like a fire. Turns out it's a... How would you find them? You're going up a mountainside and you're like, oh, look, I found where he plopped the bodies. How would you find... And then he goes for a walk in ashy cloudness and again stumbles upon him. How? How would you ever find that guy on that whole fucking volcanic mountain? And then, I got news for you. Like, I may not have been within a couple feet of lava, but I've seen, I don't know, children's shows, Nova, the Discovery Channel. So I know that lava is real fucking hot, and your shit would be on fire like Anakin from episode 3 if you were within any feet of that lava like that. No, you're not barefoot and just be like, oh, it's okay, I jumped over the actual lava. No, you'd be all crispy. So that was just unbelievably dumb. And then, like, just all of the actions were just dumb. The only cool bit was when he was all like hunched over when they first showed him as an adult, and he was like, hi-ya, like attacking. And even then, I was like, am I watching Batman 3, where there's Catwoman, and like the guy that's like attacking Batman on the rooftop, like is so, and then just like falls over and doesn't even hit Batman. Like it felt like I was watching that, because it was neat that you had, I assume not face replacement, Alexander Skarsgård actually doing this, what I think is mostly a long take. A couple of like, you know, fake interspersal things to make it look like one take, but that was almost kind of neat, except that everyone was pulling their punches and it looked way too slow and like everybody was waiting for it. So it wasn't fun and it wasn't believable. And like, I get that he was like trying to look like a badass, just like, oh, I'm so buff and oh. And that's cool, and like that kind of worked for his fighting style. But then, like, I got the hunch for the rest of the movie trying to be like, oh, I'm a slave, see, this is my slave hunch. But when it went on beast mode again, why was he still hunched? Alexander Skarsgård, yes, he's buffer than he normally is, but he wasn't like, I need to hunch like an orc or a goblin type. No, he wasn't that buff. It didn't need the hunch. The hunch looked like he's, like I'm doing, like he's trying to hunch. Relax your shoulders, kick his ass normal. So, yeah, and then this movie, it felt so long. I don't even know how long it was, but it felt long. Just so long, and I'm not even gonna address the super cringy part with his dad, because, like, whatever, but there was more cringy dialogue when he first meets his wife, and they're, like, performing for each other, we're like, good woman, service me in the blah, 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 like, oh, come see. Again, doesn't match with how the rest of the dialogue is. And how did Alexander Skarsgård's character be like, oh, hey, you have white hair and are young Anna Taylor-Joy. You're a witch. And she's like, yeah, bro, I'm a witch. Why are you a witch? How does he know you're a witch? And why are you a witch? It doesn't make any sense. Like, and if you're a witch, why are you there? Just witch yourself out of this. And like, at the end where she's like, I'm gonna whoosh. Like, is that your only, are you just an airbender? Is that your only power? Is that why you couldn't witch your way out? And so many opportunities that they could have done. Like, she was like, bro, I got powder that will kill everyone. And he's like, no, not yet. Let's fuck around with them a little bit more. Just fucking kill them if that's your destiny. If that's what you're trying to do, just kill them, free the slaves. Come on. So, this movie was terrible. Just absolute dog shit. There was nothing really that great about this movie. You should definitely skip it. I am sorry that I didn't get this review out sooner so that some of you may have accidentally gone and seen it without seeing this review first. But do not watch this movie. Just don't. You've already spent more time on this movie from watching my review than you should have ever spent at the movie for this to begin with. Alrighty. If you have seen it, let me know in the comments down below how fucking terrible you thought it was. Okay. I'm sure I missed a bunch of things that were terrible, but Like, I don't want this review about how shitty this movie is to be as long as the movie, because that's how many things I can point out were shitty about it. Alright, that's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.